It has been a while, but right now I have to solve a huge problem for me. My wardrobe isn't equipped for this warm weather. I only have two short-sleeved tops, and they are both on the drying rack right now, so I'm way too warm. So I have to solve that. So summer has already left and I'm wearing a turtleneck again, but I thought preparing for next summer wouldn't be that bad anyways. And I've prepared a mock-up. It's basically the same pattern as I used for my 1907 under or corset cover. I just added puff sleeves and changed the neckline to a more V-shaped décolleté, and I have some violet fabric for it. And basically I bought 3 fabrics which I think go so good together. I love the color combination, and I'm a little bit sad that I just will wear one at a time, but for now it's time to cut out that fabric. I started with the violet fabric, a simple poplin. I cut out the main pieces and some bias tape for edge finishing. Then I cut some white cotton for the bodice lining. In hindsight, I probably didn't need to line it, but we learn as we go. Before sewing, I ironed out all the wrinkles of the lining because I forgot to do that before and it showed. Then I aligned the main pieces with the lining and pinned the darts and seam lines together. I sewed the darts from top to bottom, but I forgot to mark where to sew, so I ended up with them being too small and I had to readjust them later in the process. Next, I sewed all the pieces together and closed the remaining seams. Sewing is done, and it only took 30 minutes. So now to the time-consuming part. One of which I don't like is ironing, but it makes such a big difference, so I did it, and my tailor's hem really helped with those round shapes. I folded over the facing for the front closure and decided to cover the seam allowance with seam tape. It's my first time trying this method and I love it. It gives the garment some structure without needing boning, and I think that's pretty neat. The only tape I sewed on by hand was the center back. I wanted it to lay flat, so I placed the tape over the seam and used a felling stitch. This blouse is finished and I already have things I want to change about it, so I do it for the next one because in this one I can't change that much of it anymore. One thing I did is removing a lot of material here because this was gaping way too much, and in the mock-up I still have to do that. Luckily I still have the mock-up, so I have to remove a lot of material up here. Then I think the back is too wide, so I will remove some material here, and the arms are too tight. Which is super annoying because when I tested it, they were okay. And now this is ridiculous. But those are the things I'm going to change for the next garment. This one, I mean, I'm not sure. I don't think I can add material here without it looking stupid. And it is wearable, it is cute, but it can be better. So I will make the next one better. And in this case, I'm going to use this green fabric, but first changing the mock-up to make it really fit. Changing the things I now learned I could do better. I'm pretty happy how this mock-up turned out now. I changed again so much. I changed the shoulders here. I reduced a lot of, or took out a lot of material here, took out some material here, then a lot of material in the back, at the center back, but also the sides. And I re-added volume in the sleeves, but not that much as there now. I will reduce it again, but not that much. The last time it was too small. So I'm pretty happy with that, and now I can go on and sew the second blouse. So once again, I started with cutting out the pattern pieces. Now let's talk about mock-ups for a second. I made one for the first blouse and I thought it was good, but when I sewed the actual garment, I wasn't happy anymore. This keeps happening to me. I think I have a fear of making garments too tight, so I end up with them being too wide. At least I can alter a wide garment, right? But still, it's somewhat frustrating. For the second blouse, I marked the dart seam lines from the start. I lined this one too and followed the same process of sewing darts and the main seams. Oh, and here is how I made the bias tape. I laid the strips perpendicular to each other and sewed them to create a long tape. It's such a neat technique and I will definitely use them more often. Then I finished the seam allowances with seam tape again, because I really love how it adds structure to the blouse. This is one thing I loved about the previous one. Unfortunately, I forgot to film how I sewed this bias tape to the neckline and the hem, but basically I machine sewed it to the front and hand sewed it on the inside for a nice neat finish. To add a little extra flair, I attached some lace to the neckline and sleeves. The violet one was pretty plain, so I wanted something more embellished this time. After adding bottoms and buttonholes, both blouses were finished. The green one is cute, but still not perfect too. It's again a little wide and the sleeves are slightly big, but I think it'll make a cute cottagecore blouse, especially with the lace. The violet one is plainer and I'm not as happy with it, but I'm sure I will find a way to style it eventually. Most important thing was having something for summer. Now I'm better prepped for summer and I hope it gets soon warm again. Until then, have a good time. Adieu da!